Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Whitney and I'm a fragrance and flavor enthusiast. Here on my channel, we mostly explore fragrances, but I sometimes like to throw in other content here and there just for fun. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has viewed, liked, commented, shared, and subscribed. So today I thought I would share with you guys the layering combinations I have been exploring with most of the fragrance mists that I got in my recent Bath & Body Works haul, which I will link. And not all the fragrances I got in that haul are like ones that I've wanted to layer or have layered, but I have quite a few that I have layered and I think smell good, and I think you might enjoy hearing what I have to say. So let's get into it. So the first layering combination I have to share with you features a pink watermelon blast. So the first combination I have to share is not one that I came up with. Actually, Savings Fashionista here on YouTube came up with this combination. At least she's the one who I saw share it first. And the perfume that she paired pink watermelon blast with is Jo Malone's Wood Sage and Sea Salt. And as soon as she said this combination, I was like, yeah, she's onto something. She's onto something. And it made sense to me because to me, Wood Sage and Sea Salt is like a not sweet at all, salty, citrusy-esque scent. And pairing it with like a super sweet scent such as the pink watermelon blast, I was like, yeah, she right. And when I tried this out, I had to agree. What I found was that pairing these two together created a very good balance, and on my skin, I noticed that the woodiness that came out in the Wood Sage and Sea Salt was toned down, I guess you can say, from the watermelon and sweetness overall in the pink watermelon blast. And I feel like with there being that sour note of lime in here, well, sour and citrus note in lime, I feel like that helps these two work well together because of that citrus quality that they both share. But yeah, these do smell really, really nice together. So I actually wanted to try layering this with something else, but it kind of happened not really as a mistake, but because again, I was looking for something a little bit more in terms of freshness from wearing the scent. So I decided to wear this fragrance mist to the gym. So I sprayed myself with it, and yes, it smelled great, candy sweet, but I was like, it's kind of lacking the freshness that I sometimes prefer to smell like when I'm headed to the gym. So I was like, okay, I need to leave, but what is just a quick, what can I just wear with this that makes sense that I don't have to think too much about? So the obvious choice for me was L'Imperatrice 3 from Dolce&Gabbana. And this is a watermelon scent, if you're not familiar with this. So I wouldn't say that L'Imperatrice 3 is like super sweet. As a matter of fact, I feel like it leans more on the tart, verging on sour side. So because of that watermelon note, and because this is also quite aquatic and fresh smelling, I was like, okay, this should work. This should. And it did. It smelled really good. I didn't have to go too crazy, like heavy-handed with this. I did kind of go heavy-handed with the pink watermelon blast, but I feel like these two did really work together. And yes, it's kind of like a no-brainer because they're both watermelon forward scents, but I had to do what I had to do, okay? So I figured I would just share that with you. So the next combination I have is one that, well, first of all, with my recent haul, I did pick up quite a number of like coconutty, beachy, sunscreen lotiony kind of scent profiled fragrance mists. And when I got all of them and smelled all of them for the first time, I knew which perfume in my collection they will be paired with. And I only tried one of the fragrance mists with this particular scent, but let me share that with you first, and then I'll get into a little bit more detail. So the fragrance mist that I chose was the Waikiki Beach Coconut. So this is the one with the white coconut, saltwater breezes, and sun-bleached woods. So to me, this is like a sweet, woody coconut scent, like super sweet, that I really like. And the perfume in my collection that I paired this with is Wish from Lolia. And again, well, I say again because I've mentioned this before, Wish is not necessarily, at least the descriptions I've read of it from the brand itself, don't allude to this being like necessarily a beachy fragrance. As a matter of fact, I feel like this one is more of like a gourmand. But like for some reason, this kind of just smells very like, I guess you could say like the sunscreen profile, like a sweet sunscreen kind of scent profile. And when I layered these two together, it worked. And it was kind of like, I knew it was going to work, but wearing it confirmed it. So yeah, so these smelled really good together. And I do have at the beach, which I intend on layering with it, as well as Honolulu Sun, again, which I intend on layering with this, because even though they share the same scent profile in terms of, I guess, category, I feel like there are qualities about them that make them smell different. And yeah, so layering those scents with Wish is something I'm looking forward to doing this summer and throughout the year whenever I feel like smelling like a coconut goddess. So next up, I have Summer Melody. And when I first came across the scent notes, which are just two, which are Golden Honeydew and Bronzed Vanilla, the first perfume that came to mind is not even one that I actually, well, I own, but only as a sample. But I couldn't stop thinking like, I'm definitely going to layer these two together once I get Summer Melody in my hands. So the perfume I'm talking about is J'adore from Dior. Now the lights are kind of bright, but yeah. So I have a sample of this scent. And I think what had me thinking about J'adore was that I knew that J'adore featured a melon note and it also featured a vanilla note. So like I've mentioned before in previous layering videos, when it comes to layering, sometimes I'll use the notes that are in the fragrance mist to guide which perfume I layer it with. And that was the case in this instance. And what I'll say is that with Dior's J'adore on my skin, it smells great. It has like a classy kind of vibe to it, but it does lean on the kind of sharp side. Nothing too crazy. Like it doesn't lean like straight up like sharp, like I guess you could say Chanel's Coco Mademoiselle kind of leans on my skin sometimes. Or yeah, I guess that's the best, that kind of sharp where like almost verging on vintage kind of smelling to my nose, but it still does have like a classic kind of sharpness to it. So when I layered it with Summer Melody, which is quite sweet, I felt like the sweetness in the Summer Melody was able to like tone down the sharp quality of J'adore. And what I'll also say is when I first smelled Summer Melody, I did pick up on this kind of aquatic vibe to it. It wasn't super obvious as to why I was getting that. Maybe the melon note in there was leading me to feel that way, but J'adore has an aquatic vibe to it too, and some people have described it as smelling aquatic. So that's another feature about these two scents that I think help them smell good together. So yes. So next up, the fragrance mist I have is Coconut Copper Coconut Sands. So first sniff, I really did enjoy this scent and was very surprised at how sandalwood forward this is. So the notes in here, if you don't know, are sun-kissed coconut, soft orchid petals, and creamy sandalwood. So I'm not the biggest fan of a sandalwood heavy scent, but how it's done here, especially because it does have a strong coconut note, I feel like this is so me, and it smells like sexy and warm. So the scent that I decided to wear this with is Prada La Femme from the House of Prada. And the reason why I wanted to pair these two together was because I felt like, because of the notes being kind of like, well, first of all, the summery, tropically kind of vibe that both of these scents give off, but for different reasons. For me, Prada La Femme smells tropical in the sense of it being like tropical in the floral sense, whereas the Copper Coconut Sands has that like beachy coconut kind of vibe to it that makes it kind of smell tropical-ish to my nose. And when I paired these two together, I think they worked so well because the fragrance mist brought a kind of warmth that was, perhaps you could say, lacking in Prada La Femme, and yeah, smell really sexy together. I think Prada La Femme is actually quite sexy, personally. But then again, I do think like soapy floral scents can sometimes smell kind of sexy. But yeah, they smelled really good together. Actually, this is the layering combination I wore in the video where I talk about my buzz cut and eat candy. So I'll link that video up above. That's the scent I wore that day. But yeah, I really do like these together, and they actually look very cute next to each other because there's like that gold and the ivory color, and it looked good. It looked good. So next up, I have Pink Pineapple Sunrise. So when I first got this scent, I immediately thought of a perfume that I wanted to pair it with. Now, I don't own that particular perfume, but I do own a version of that perfume. So let me clarify right now. So the scent that I'm talking about is Eros Femme from Versace. Now, this is the EDP, which I do have, right? But the scent that I was like really sure I wanted to pair Pink Pineapple Sunrise with is the EDT version of Eros Femme, right? So the plan is, I've been kind of stalling on getting the EDT of Eros Femme, but I think this is the summer that I'm actually going to get it, because to be honest, I was so sure that there was a pineapple note in there. I've seen it compared, the EDT being compared to the white gummy bears flavor, and I'm pretty sure that's a pineapple flavor. And I think just all of those different things, and it being kind of a scent that I knew I would want to wear in the summer, I was just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna get that. But then I looked into it, and neither of these two fragrances have a pineapple note. So I don't know. But anyway, I like how the EDT smells. I think it's a like fresh, flirty, warm / hot weather appropriate scent. But like I said, this is the EDP, which can be worn in warmer weather, right? But I feel like the EDP is a lot more serious, maybe leaning on a bit more mature smelling than the EDT. I do like this, but I feel like this is more of like a, I would say, if I had to say what I would wear these different scents to, I would wear, so I know this is a bit of a tangent, but hear me out. So the EDP of Eros Femme, I see this being a scent that I would wear to a business meeting in the summer. Whereas the EDT, I could see me wearing to brunch where the drinks don't stop and there's like really good music playing, like shake your ass kind of music playing. So what I'm getting at is the EDT just feels like a lot more fun and playful, whereas the EDP is a little bit more, not reserved, because this is a loud scent and it features ambroxan, which I think lends to that loudness. But this ain't a shy scent, but it's not as like playful, let's put it that way. But anyway, I paired these two together and I actually really did like it. I feel like they both have like a tart sweetness to them, but because of different notes. But because of that, it also helps them work together at the same time. But what I will say is that pairing these two together, I couldn't deny that the scent of the Eros Femme EDP was just kind of overshadowing the Pink Pineapple Sunrise. And to be honest, I have to be pretty strategic when I wear the EDP of Eros Femme because it is so strong. I don't typically wear it like above my like neck and clavicle area because it's just like I want it all up in my nose. But it is a nice one, but like I said, it is a bit more serious. And I think part of me pairing it with the Pink Pineapple Sunrise was to kind of add a bit of playfulness that I felt was missing. And it did that, but the scent was still quite dominant in the layering combination, but I still enjoy it. So next up, I have Love Always Wins, and this is in the scent Rainbow Waves, which is part of Bath & Body Works' Pride collection. So this is a fragrance mist that contains notes of sunny sangria, bright melon, and misty waters. And when I first smelled this, I picked up on a peppery quality that I still pick up on now. And even after playing around with the scent a bit more, I smell a rose note, or something that smells reminiscent of a rose note, which I'm not mad at because I enjoy that note. But I do still feel like this is quite gender neutral in quality. But I was like, let's play up with that rose note that I think I'm picking up on. So I decided to layer it with Givenchy's Very Irresistible in Low and Rose. So this is pretty much a rose centric scent. The notes in here are blackberry, in the top, rose in the middle, and then there's musk in the dry down in the base. And for me, Low and Rose is like, it's a bright rose scent that I don't necessarily think is that sweet. I feel like this is quite, maybe literal is the right word. What I want to say is that it's just very much a rose scent. There's no confusing this, right? So when I layered these two together, I thought that they worked quite well. And the thing is, sometimes I feel like rose is a note that I don't immediately think, oh yeah, someone who's more masculine would totally enjoy wearing that. Because I guess for me, I sometimes think of rose as being quite a feminine, just like a feminine flower in general. So when it comes to fragrance notes, I also think it's a bit feminine. But together, I feel like it still has that like anybody could wear this combination kind of vibe to it. Because it's not an overly sweet combination. I think that's what helps. But there is a sweetness here that comes naturally from the fruitiness of both fragrances as well as the floral sweetness. But together, these are quite nice. And I feel like this would be a really good pairing for the summer because there's nothing heavy about either of these scents. And there's nothing overly complex about either of these scents as well. So yeah, glad I tried it. All right, so the last fragrance mist from the haul is Beach Nights. So this is one that I was quite excited about because of all of those edible notes in here. So the notes, if you don't know, are toasted marshmallow, sea salt breeze, s'mores accord, beach driftwood, and creamy vanilla. So to me, this is a scent that I see being worn, yeah, in the summer, right? But indoors, cuddle up, cozy time, right? Because it's not particularly strong, not only in the way it smells, but in terms of projection. And that's what makes me feel like this would be appropriate for more of like an indoor thing. Even though the notes are very much outdoorsy. But I pulled this scent going to the movies with my mom recently, right? And I had it on and it smelled good. And I was thinking, you know, I'd wear something a little bit low profile because going to the movies, don't want to disturb anyone. And then I remembered who I was. I don't care where I'm going. I want people to smell me. So I was like, let me bump this up a little bit. So I decided to pair it with Bath & Body Works' Bonfire Bash, which is also one that is considered to be a smoky marshmallow kind of scent with notes of vanilla bourbon, creamy sandalwood, and cashmere musk. Now, I will say I went heavy with Beach Nights and not so heavy with Bonfire Bash because this to me is one that actually is quite strong and projects. And my mom is kind of sensitive to smell, so I was like, let me not knock this woman out while we try to enjoy this movie. But I still wanted to be able to like have something that was detectable by people, right? And it does really smell nice together. I was kind of self-conscious because I was like, when I was sitting down, I felt like, oh, maybe this is strong. And she doesn't seem to be the biggest fan of gourmand scents. So I'm like, this might be torture for her right now. But I realized like it's, even though it wasn't the weakest combination, it wasn't too crazy. And I feel like because of the nature of it being like a vanilla based combination, it wasn't going to be too painful for anyone smelling it for an extended period of time. But I enjoyed them together. But because I wasn't necessarily satisfied with leaving it at that, I'm like, no, I need to try something else. That the Bonfire Bash with this is good, but I know I could figure something else out. So recently, now to be honest, I don't remember if this was a dream or if I saw this being said by someone on YouTube. I'm really not sure where I saw this. I don't remember, but the point is, it doesn't even make sense, but for whatever reason, Oahu Coconut Sunset, I hope I said the name right, which is a Bath & Body Works scent, which I do have. I think it was being compared to this, even though they don't share any notes. Maybe they have vanilla in, I don't know. But that's a tuberose scent, right? And I'm just like, again, this could have been all a dream, and I'm just saying it now as if it actually happened. But anyway, but that had me thinking, what if I were to pair Beach Nights with a tuberose scent? What would happen? What would happen? So I did. So the tuberose scent that I decided to pair it with is Seductive Tuberose. And this is a single note scent from Be Layered. And this is quite literally a tuberose scent. Now it starts off quite animalic and strong, to be quite honest, but it dries down into a more sweet, creamy tuberose on my skin that still has strength, but the magic happens once it starts to dry down on my skin. So I was like, you know what, let me try these two together, because for some reason I feel like I'm supposed to do this. And let me tell you, this worked out so well. The result was like a creamy milkshake, like a creamy, don't be scared, but creamy tuberose milkshake. That's the kind of smell that was the result of me mixing these two together. And I was like, oh, ho, ho, okay, I see you. This was really unexpected. Like, I was hoping it would work. I was hoping, but the fact that it did work so well on my skin made me happy. So yeah, so tuberose with Beach Nights smells quite good on me, and it may smell good on you, so give it a try if you have the option. So yes, so glad I got to share all that with you. Let me know down below if you've tried any of these combinations, or if you haven't and you have these scents, try them. Let me know down below in the comment section what your results were, and let me know what you would combine any of these fragrance mists with out of fragrances in your collection, or not. Just let me know, I'm curious. So if you liked today's video, please give this video a like, and if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe, please. And if you want to support my channel even more, feel free to buy me a bubble tea. All that info is down in the description box. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you later. Bye! You can't tell me. Wasp is like, let me in. I have something to ask you. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you something. The light is suspiciously not hot. Well, could it be the fan? Maybe. I just don't feel hot. What's wrong with it? So as you would have noticed from the haul, is that a lizard? Outside. Hello. All these like critters are like looking at, well, not looking at me, but they're like, there was a wasp outside trying to get in. Now there's a lizard hanging out. I'm like, y'all, it's probably safer for y'all outside. But anyway. Oh, breaking my shit. Which one? No, let's do this one. I don't know, but that's not funny. So next up, I have Rainbow Waves, which is the Love Always Wins scent from, wait, what? Okay,